This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Live in Los Angeles, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. We have an absolutely packed show today. Dwight Freeney, Andy Reid, NFL coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. We've got NFL stuff today, NBA stuff today. Jason McIntyre, J-Mac, is joining me on the show, filling in today on the desk. Great to have you here, J-Mac.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Couple beers the other night watching NBA playoffs. Always nice to have you in. Let me start with this. Houston Rockets lost to Utah. Let's not overthink the room. Utah took a bunch of three-pointers and made a lot of them. Houston took a lot of three-pointers and missed most of them. That's your game, and I still believe Houston will win this series. But last night is why I don't believe Houston is ready to win an NBA championship. Because dynasties, and we currently have one in Golden State, have always been built on the ability to do many things well. Golden State, head coach, A+. A system that can lose star players. Steph Curry and still win games. The system's an A+. Their defense is an A+. Their championship experience is an A+. They do many things well. Houston doesn't shoot. It gets ugly. Coaching, toughness, defense, system, shooting, championship medal. All Golden State better than Houston. This is the difference between Carrot Top and Jon Stewart or David Letterman. Carrot Top is a wildly, wildly successful prop comic. You take away the ski mask, you take away the chapstick, you don't have a joke. Jon Stewart and Letterman could do interviews, could be poignant post 9/11, could do stand-up, could do political. They were wide-ranging comedic talents. There is a difference. Dynasties. The Spurs beat you not just because of Duncan. They had effective guard play. Their international scouting was the best in the NBA. Their head coaching was excellent. They had Bruce Bowen and Duncan defensively, and they dominated the glass. Joe Montana is not the reason the Niners had a dynasty. It was Joe Montana plus the best coach in football at the time, Bill Walsh. They had the greatest perimeter player in the NFL at the time, Jerry Rice. They could run the football. They were physical. They played real defense and had a pass rush. That's why they were a dynasty. It wasn't just Troy Aikman in Dallas. He could go deep to Michael Irvin, or he could hand it to Emmett. They had great safeties, corners, and the best coach at the time, Jimmy Johnson, who was also the best talent evaluator in the NFL perhaps ever. Dynasties are built, legends are built not on the ability to be great at one thing. It's the ability to be great at several. College basketball is really big in March. There's a reason the NFL is king. It's big for 12 months. The draft gets huge ratings. The regular season gets huge ratings. The Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl, the playoffs, the wild card games. College basketball is big for 3 weeks in March. Golden State went 5 for 27 on threes in one of their games against San Antonio and won by 8. Houston last night struggled from three-point land and was basically controlled all night at home by Joe Ingles, who was undrafted. That is the difference. That is why Golden State's a dynasty. You know, Michael Jordan gets all the credit for those Chicago Bulls championships. But their length was incredible. They were the best defensive team in the league. They were the best clutch team. Jordan was the greatest offensive player. Pippen was the league's best Robin to Batman. And Phil Jackson was the best coach. And God, they were tough to beat at home. Houston always feels like, to me, they're a math equation. I love their GM, Daryl Morey. I think they're really, really smart. They're driving this analytics thing. But, man, if they don't hit threes at home, Joe Ingles takes them to the woodshed. I like Houston. I still think they'll beat Utah. But what you're watching at Golden State is all-time stuff. What you're watching with the Rockets is a hell of a math equation and a really good basketball team. Let me shift gears to Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley a couple of nights ago said on TV, man, Draymond Green, I wish somebody punch him in the face. I like to punch him in the face. And everybody was like, that's funny. And then after a couple of hours of the internet and pressure from advertisers in the league and executives, Charles Barkley apologized. Although last night it was very, very interesting. He didn't actually apologize, or did he apologize? It was a non-apology apology. Go ahead, play the tape, Charles Barkley, last night.
I apologize to Draymond Green. I meant what I said. I meant what I said. But I would never punch an NBA player. I got guys who are mentors to me, Derek Stafford, Jason Whitlock, and Mike Wilbon. They're my mentors and big brothers. I appreciate them reaching out to me. You know what? My personal opinion should never come across in a comment I make about a team or a player. It did last night, but what I said was wrong, and I apologize.
Okay, I want to read you this, though. What was the first thing out of Charles' mouth? I shouldn't have said it, but I meant it. Charles Barkley's smart. Charles Barkley knows his brand. We fly Southwest Airlines not because they have the biggest, most comfortable planes, not because of their food. You have to wait in those goofy lines. We fly it because it's cost efficient and it's quirkiness. You double the prices, I'm out. I eat at McDonald's. Not all the time, but I do. I do because they're consistent. They're cheap and they're fast. You double the prices, you get less consistent. I'm out. Nobody listens to Charles Barkley because of his preparation. He acknowledges he doesn't watch a lot of games. Nobody watches Charles Barkley because he's smooth. He's a glib television performer. Nobody watches Charles Barkley because he is so right on his predictions. Nope, nope, nope. We watch Charles Barkley because Charles Barkley is honest and says what you and I are thinking. And there is always a danger to apologizing when it offends a few people. Because what makes great TV is honest, raw people. And if we keep puncturing them and editing them, then we'll have fewer of them. The most popular television personalities in this country, it doesn't matter if it's Barkley, it doesn't matter if it's Rachel Maddow, are often and usually and primarily the most authentic, and at times offending the other side of the aisle. Charles Barkley, Southwest Airlines, McDonald's, they know their brand. Nobody watches Charles because he's slick, because he watches more games than anybody, because his analysis is right on. We watch him because he's brutally honest. And his quote was, I shouldn't have said it, but I meant it. I love that. Starbucks has been a rocket ship of commerce for 25, 30 years. Do you know the year Starbucks stumbled? They started doing movies, ice cream, talked a lot about their food. Then they went back and did coffee and coffee drinks exceptionally well, and that's why we go there. They're fast, they're consistent, they do coffee. I don't care about their sandwiches, ice cream, or movies. Charles Barkley gave the greatest non-apology apology ever because he knows his brand. He knows why we watch him. And it's why I'll continue to watch him. You have to be careful in TV land, and I'm speaking to executives and advertisers and fans. Nobody watched what he said about Draymond Green outside of Draymond and his family and was outraged. Everybody on the set, TV pros, all laughed. I laughed watching it. Nobody took it literally. I like Charles' non-apology apology. And I also like that Jason Whitlock's one of his mentors. I thought that was pretty cool. But Charles knows what he is, and Charles knows why we watch and why I'll continue to watch. Because I feel he's one of the few broadcasters who's not constantly concerned that he may offend me. And I love that about him. Good to have you in. So, J-Mac, here we are on a Thursday. We're dark tomorrow, so we're not on the air. So you got to give me everything today. I tell this to Rob Parker. You got to bring your crossover and your mid-range jumper, and you got to hit free throws today. No mailing it in. I want everything you have today.
So can I blast the choking Houston Rockets?
You can do whatever you want.
Overrated James Harden. Can I go there?
Yeah,
or no?
Let's slow down on that.
Okay. All right. I'll save it. I'll save that.
Coming up next, the guy leaving the Dallas Cowboys and why he's leaving the Dallas Cowboys. That's coming up next. It's hard to find a bigger fan of you than your mom. Through all the teenage mischief and the first steps of adulthood, she's been there supporting you. May 13th, Mother's Day. Get on it right now. Get ahead of Mother's Day rush. 1-800-Flowers is giving you an exclusive 24 for 24 offer. 24 multicolored roses, a buck a rose, only $24. They are always picked at the peak from premier farms and shipped overnight. And you know why that is? Guaranteeing freshness, shipped overnight. You just pick the delivery date, and 1-800-Flowers does the rest. Do not put this off. Mother's Day is coming. Supplies can be limited. This is the biggest day of the year outside of Valentine's for 1-800-Flowers. Get on it now. You pick the date. 1-800-Flowers.com, code HERD. 1-800-Flowers.com, code HERD.
Remember your first bike?